What it do, YouTube? I'm Caleb. Welcome to the High Head Crew. Today I got a little something special for y'all, man. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe if you're new, man. Today we got 5 things you need to know before the NBA All-Star break by Basketball Reach. No green screen right now. It's tragic. But let's get to it, man.
This is the part of the season where things get serious.
Okay.
Before the All-Star break, teams stop pretending and they'll show you who they really are. So, here are the 5 things you need to know before we get there. The first thing you need to know before the All-Star break is that the Milwaukee Bucks have entered the point of no return.
We've been there. As soon as they traded Drew two times Holiday away, it was over with. You know what I'm saying? Chris Middleton was falling off. He's washed now. He's up there in age. It's just Giannis over there, bro. His best teammate is realistically Kyle Kuzma. It don't get more tragic than that. You know what I'm saying? If I had Kyle Kuzma as my second best player on the team and I'm averaging a near 30-point triple-double, you know what I'm saying, every single season, I'd throw up. And then I quit basketball. It's just tragic, bro. It's really depressing over there in Milwaukee. And it's time for Giannis to go. I can't stress that enough.
What they do next is basically going to tell us whether the Giannis Antetokounmpo era in Milwaukee is still alive or it's completely dead in the water. This isn't even about trading Giannis. That isn't what we're talking about here. The real fear is about how far this Bucks front office is willing to go to keep.
Bro, I feel like it's pretty clear. They're not willing to do a thing. He won them a championship, bro. 2-time MVP, 1-time defensive player of the year. He arguably could have more MVPs, more defensive players of the year. You know what I'm saying? And still, they bring him no types of help. He's going out like Kobe right now, bro. It's sad.
Giannis on the team, to the point where they might completely hinder their ability to ever be competitive with him again. Right now, the noise around the potential Ja Morant trade just continues to get louder. And we've got a pretty good idea of what the Memphis Grizzlies would want from a trade with Milwaukee. This deal looks like Kyle Kuzma, Bobby Portis, Ryan Rollins, and a 2031
Trying to dissect this. Hold on, give me a second. Memphis wants this, Kyle Kuzma, Bobby Portis, Ryan Rollins, and a Milwaukee first-round pick swap. Doesn't say which year. This is, you know what I'm saying, this is some good assets for Memphis right there. You know what I'm saying? I like this move. I like these moves. And Bucks just want Ja Morant back. That's it. What y'all think about that, man? I could see it. I could see a trade like that. But I don't even think the Bucks would do it, bro. I don't think they've even been looking. They haven't been considering it, bro. They're kicking their legs back and letting Giannis do all the work. Like, bro, actually, this is a realistic trade right here, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if the Bucks will go for this, though. They're trading 3 players away who've given them solid production this season, as well as a first-round pick swap. But, you know what I'm saying, if you can get Ja Morant over there to Milwaukee and secure Giannis' future in with the Bucks, then this could be a good trade. I could see this.
First-round pick swap. And honestly, if Milwaukee loved that offer, this deal may have already been done. But
that's what I was saying, bro. Then the fact that they ain't even tried to do it yet, this just tells you everything you need to know about Milwaukee, bro. Wrap up the franchise. Sell it, throw it away.
Tells you they're not feeling great about what they're being asked to give up, and for good reason. Kuzma and Bobby Portis are kind of whatever in this conversation because they're mostly there to make the money work. The part that does matter, though, and why the trade hasn't been done yet, is of course the additions of Ryan Rollins and that 2031 first-round pick swap.
But y'all worried about 2031? Y'all worried about a middle schooler, bro. Man, trade that pick, bro.
Been one of the few
good
stories.
That 2031 pick is in middle school, getting ready to go to high school, bro. Y'all worried about a 2031 pick. If you don't trade that and keep Giannis,
in
Y'all do not care. He's bringing all the dollars for your franchise, bro. As soon as he's gone, nobody's gonna watch the Bucks ever again.
Milwaukee this season, but for me as a Bucks fan, that 2031 first round pick is the deal breaker. By the time 2031 rolls around, Giannis is going to be deep into his 30s, and
that doesn't, bro. You see the way he's playing, he's still gonna be hooping, still gonna be giving you 20 a night. All you have to do is pick up a few more pieces, you know what I'm saying? Ja Morant will still be hooping, most likely. Bro, you're worried about one pick? This gotta be the only pick they got or something.
There's a very real chance that the Bucks are just simply not a good team anymore.
You want to win
that
or not?
Pick could easily be
question.
top 5.
You have Giannis Antetokounmpo on your squad, bro. He has to be guarded by 4 people. Do you want to win or not? Because I can guarantee you, after Giannis is gone, after his career is done in Milwaukee, Milwaukee will never see, they won't see the playoffs for another 10 seasons, regardless of who they have.
That is the Bucks.
Giannis is a once in a lifetime type generation
you
talent.
Could be in free fall. That's why this whole
Gotta
thing is
put
just
in all the
so
chips.
risky. Because you just don't give up that kind of an asset unless you're getting a true superstar back.
You have him. And you're getting Ja Morant on top of that. Give it up.
Ja Morant is exciting. He's fun. And he's a big name, but he just hasn't been on that level this season.
Yes, he has.
It's also
He's
pretty clear that Giannis genuinely likes Ja.
This happens. Take it to the finish line. Something.
Boom,
Ja Morant. Ja Morant.
TA. Number 10.
TA. Number 10.
Bro, imagine Ja and Giannis on the same team, bro. The point guard and the big catching lobs from each other. That's crazy right there.
At the end of the day, what the Bucks do over the next few weeks is going to decide whether this era has another chapter left or if it completely crashes and burns. If the Milwaukee front office panics and they give up too much right now, there may be no way back. But if they can slow things down, protect that 2031 pick, and attempt to play the long game while getting Giannis on board with that idea, then there still could be a pathway forward. But we're going to get a decision one way or the other in the next 3 weeks, so watch this space incredibly closely. Now, the second thing you need to know before the All-Star break is that the Charlotte Hornets are finally building something real. Honestly, they've probably been my favorite league pass team.
Bro, they brought LaMelo off the bench, bro. After putting up 9 threes against the Lakers. They ain't building nothing. Still need to LaMelo, Kaleb, Brandon Miller, they all still need to leave Charlotte ASAP as soon as possible, bro. Get out of there.
This season, because for the first time in a long time, what Charlotte are doing doesn't feel fake. It doesn't feel like empty stats or guys just getting numbers because someone has to score. It actually looks like the early stages of a legit team coming together. The reason for that is the young core they've quietly assembled. Rookie Kaleb has been fantastic. Brandon Miller has continued to grow in year 3, and LaMelo Ball has been the engine that makes it go. Since December 18th, which was the exact time when LaMelo Ball came back from injury, Charlotte has had the second best offensive rating in the league, putting up 100.
That's pretty solid right there, bro. Second best offensive rating in the league since December 18th. Hey, that's nice, Charlotte. What about defense, though?
122.3 points per 100 possessions. And that's no fluke. They're also the only team in the NBA with 4 guys averaging more than 19 points a game. And
still not even in the play-in tournament, bro. Sell the franchise.
Biggest difference this year is that it doesn't feel like fake offense anymore. This is real, legitimate production that's been translated to winning basketball. Kaleb in particular has really shocked me. He's breaking Steph Curry rookie records when it comes to three-point shooting, which is absolutely insane. But the part that really caught me off guard is just how much there is to this guy's game. He's bigger than I thought he was at 6'6", and that
He's 6'6". That's cap. That's cap.
He's bigger.
He's not 6'6". Ain't zero way.
Than I thought he was at 6'6".
He's max 6'4", but I don't even think he that, bro. He looks mad short.
6, and that size has allowed him to put the ball on the floor and get to his spots in the mid-range. He's knocking those
like
shots
6'4",
down
bro.
consistently,
6'6" is
which
stretching it
tells
for
you
sure.
that he's a lot more than just a spot-up shooter. That kind of versatility has been massive for a team as young as this one. Brandon Miller is another guy that I've liked for quite some time, even though most of the numbers don't fully show it this season. He's giving the Hornets 19.4 points per game, but the efficiency hasn't been great, shooting just 35% from 3 and 40% from the field overall. But even with
40% from the field? That's nasty work, bro. Miller, what are you doing out there? You just chucking shots.
that, his impact is obvious when you watch them play. The Hornets have a 12-12 record in games where Brandon Miller is available, and without him, that goes down to 3-14. He has been a difference maker, providing decent defense, a shot-making ability, and he's just a great connecting piece to any lineup they want to throw out there. One of the biggest keys to all of this, though, has quietly been Moussa Diabate, who's basically been the glue guy for the group. With just Ball, Knipple, and Miller in the game, the Hornets have a plus 3.8 net rating on the season, which is pretty solid. But when you add Moussa into that lineup, it jumps all the way up to a plus 20.9 net rating and a ridiculous 137 offensive
pretty
rating.
solid.
A
You gotta
lot
get
of
some
that
weight on him,
comes
though,
from
bro.
his
In the
work
weight
on
room.
the offensive boards, where he averages 3.7 offensive rebounds per
like an Evan
game
Mobley,
and ranks in
something
the
like that.
94th percentile league
I don't think
wide
he
for
shoot,
grabbing teammates' misses, which he does 15.3% of the time. That extra effort stuff completely changes the way this team functions, giving a talented offensive team more chances to score the ball. And yeah, rookie big man Ryan Cookbrenner is probably going to be in the league for a long time, but you can really see the difference when Moose is out there over him. When you swap out Moussa for Ryan in the same lineup, that net rating drops down to a minus 11.3, and all of a sudden they can't play defense to save themselves, giving up 132 points per 100 possessions.
That's
That's
terrible.
simply not going to cut it. And it's less about Ryan himself and more about what the team needs right now. Charlotte doesn't have a lot in the way of perimeter defense, so having a big like Moussa who can switch, move his feet, and cover for the mistakes of the other guys is massive compared to Cookbrenner, who plays mainly drop coverage, relying on the perimeter guys to make good decisions, which doesn't always happen. Right now, the Hornets are sitting just outside of the play-in tournament, but honestly, if they can continue to play like this and get better on the defensive side of the floor, which they have been doing month on month, I don't think it's out of reach at all. The East isn't exactly stacked at the bottom, and Charlotte is already showing that they can score with the best of them. Even if they just sneak into the play-in, that alone would be a big deal for where this franchise has been. And whether they can make it this season or not, this feels like a
We giving hope to teams that's not even in the play-in tournament. What are we doing, bro?
group that's
This
setting
is how low the
themselves
NBA
up
has
to
come.
take a real step
Not
forward
the
next
NBA.
season.
Charlotte.
Now, the third thing you need to know before the All-Star break is that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is quietly creeping towards a record that almost feels
And
fake,
one.
even with the Thunder going through a little bit of a rough patch, which has taken them from looking superhuman to human. Shai hasn't slowed down a bit. Over the last 5 games, he's still giving you 30 points a night, and he's scored at least 20 points in every game this season. That streak is now up to 113 straight games, which is the second longest run in league history. The only man standing in front of him is Wilt Chamberlain, and the moment you hear that name, you already know we're talking about basketball insanity. We're talking about the same Wilt Chamberlain who averaged 50 points for an entire
I ain't seen no film of that.
season. The same
know
Wilt
if I
who
believe
had
that
a
one. 50 in the
100-point
season.
game, and the
I can
same
believe a
Wilt who
100-point
many
game. You know
don't
what I'm
believe
saying?
he
It's not. It takes nothing to stat pad, but 50 a season. But at the same time, he's facing 3 teams a season, bro. It's not as impressive impressive as people make it look.
Even existed because the numbers are that ridiculous. And that's the record that SGA is chasing. Wilt's mark sits at 126 straight games with at least 20 points. And with SGA already at 113, he could get this record in the matter of weeks. And if Shai actually gets there, this isn't going to be just some random stat that people bring up on the broadcast. This is one of those records that immediately changes how you talk about a player. What makes this even more impressive, though, is the context around it. Oklahoma City is still one of the very best teams in basketball, even after dropping a few games, as they're still sitting at 35-8, 5.5 games clear of the second seed.
I think OKC gonna end up this season. I think they're gonna win matter of fact, I ain't gonna tell you how many they're gonna win. I'm gonna tell you how many they might lose. They're probably gonna lose like 6 more games at the most. They're gonna win like 68 games, bro.
It's Spurs.
67.
But this recent stretch has also shown us something really important. Just how much this team is actually held together by Shai. When he's off the floor, Oklahoma City have a 112.5 offensive rating, which really isn't good. But the moment Shai comes back in, that jumps up to a 122.3 offensive rating, which is a 9.8 swing, taking them from a good team to a legitimate title contender. And if you're liking this video so far, make sure to hit the like. It's free and it really helps the video out. For a while now, people have liked to throw around that OKC would still be a contender even without Shai. But this season, he's clearly proven that is...
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say because it's not the case, because SGA plays every game. But J-Dub has been injured this season. So I do think this team will still be a contender. You know what I'm saying? Even if Shai never existed, they still probably be a contender with J-Dub, you know what I'm saying, being the #1 option. But he ain't having his great season. He's been injured all year, since last year. So this season, yeah, that might be the case. They won't be a contender without him. They'd still be a great team, good team. But without him, they wouldn't be a contender. They wouldn't win the championship.
The Thunder aren't a super team that can survive without its engine. Sure, they're elite defensively, they're well coached, and they're really deep. But their offense is completely built around what SGA does. He scores, he creates shots for others, and he keeps everything organized when it gets messy, along with being one of the best clutch time scorers in the league. And with that incredible impact on a championship team, there's no doubt that he's a top 3 player in the league right now. And if he does get this Wilt Chamberlain record, his legacy is going to come together a lot quickly than anybody could have predicted just 2 years ago. Now, the fourth thing you need to know before the All-Star break is that the Lakers' problems are no longer subtle, and the defense is at the center of all of it. And this became really clear in their recent loss to the Hornets. As we mentioned earlier in the video, Charlotte has been playing great basketball lately, but at home, in their building, the Lakers should have won this game. Luka had 39, LeBron was efficient, and they actually did a good job protecting the ball, but they still got ran out of the gym. When that happens, you're not talking about bad luck anymore. We're talking about a team that has legitimate structural issues. And here's where the team really...
I think their biggest issue is that, #1, obviously Austin Reeves is injured. That's the #1 issue. But the #2 issue is they can't guard the three-point line. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think they run the court that well.
Starts to fall apart. The Lakers cannot survive offensive droughts, and lately, those droughts have been becoming more frequent. The moment their offense stalls, everything behind it collapses. They're not able to get back defensively, they end up getting cross-matched, they're scrambling, and teams around the league know exactly what buttons to press and when. Against this Lakers team, especially when you're out in semi-transition, the formula is so simple. Push the pace, force rotations, and make them defend in space. With Luka and LeBron not providing really any kind of resistance at the defensive side of the floor, this isn't...
LeBron be trying, bro. He's 41. He can't guard every possession. But it's facts.
complicated basketball, and teams have absolutely solved them. And I need
know.
to be very
we
clear.
all already know Lucas no better than a 6th grader on defense.
About something here, because context matters. This wasn't Charlotte just getting hot. They're a good shooting team. LaMelo can shoot, Miller can shoot, and Knipple can shoot. The real issue is that the Lakers don't have the personnel to be able to pressure the ball without getting blown by. So they back up, they give space, and suddenly good shooters look unstoppable. That isn't variance. This is a defensive ceiling, something that won't change without a change. What makes this even worse is how quickly the Lakers lose composure when things stop going their way. Missed calls turn into conversations with the referees almost every single time.
Mid-play.
And while that's happening, they're not getting back on defense, giving up wide open looks. And for a team that already struggles on that side of the floor, that is totally unacceptable. And here's the part that puts it all into perspective. It isn't like the Lakers are getting a bad whistle. Over the last 4 seasons, they've been top 3 in the league for free throw rate. This year, number 1, getting 26.1 free throw attempts per game, while they rank 29th in the league for drives per game. Do with that information as you will, but the Lakers are certainly getting a friendly whistle, and yet they complain more than just about anyone. And that obviously brings us to Luka Doncic. Ironically, he leads the league in free throws attempted.
Imagine leading the league in free throws, bro, as a guard. Well, he's, you know what I'm saying, you know what position. He's not a position, but he's a ball handler. 11-point free throws a night by himself, and he still feels the need to complain about a foul. Luka, you don't even get fouled, and you still going to that line, bro. I know you understand that. Just play.
At 11.7 a game, and yet he also leads the league in frustration. Now, make no mistake, Luka has been phenomenal offensively. He's averaging 33.6 points per game with 7.7 rebounds and 8.7 assists. I mean, that production is elite wonky, no matter how you slice it, but 34. The issues are on the margins. Efficiency swings, foul discipline, turnovers, and the effort level defensively. All of it's been woeful. Luka leads the NBA in scoring, but he also leads the NBA in shot attempts per game at 22.5. He also leads the NBA in turnovers per game with 4.5, and defensively, his effort and impact have been nowhere close to where they need to be. This is the dirty work stuff. The things nobody really wants to do, but they're the things that often decide games at the highest level. And right now, the Lakers are consistently losing that fight. On top of that, this team has a serious bench depth problem. They're getting next to nothing from the bench pretty much every night, which puts even more pressure onto your starting 5. Everything feels heavier, every possession matters more, and that pressure has just been snowballing as of late. So, heading into the All-Star break, this is the harsh truth that the Lakers have to confront. When the offense isn't flowing, how are you going to survive? And right now, that answer isn't schematic. It's not a lineup tweak that JJ Redick can change. It's simply buy-in, effort, discipline, and locking in on the little things that you don't necessarily want to do, but you absolutely have to if you want to be a legit title threat in this league. Now, the 5th thing you need to know before the All-Star break is how the Boston Celtics are a legit threat. Because what Boston has managed to do this season without Jason Tatum has been terrible.
I didn't know he was capable of this, by the way. You know what I'm saying? I've always knew. Not always, but I've knew, you know what I'm saying, for a while. 2021 season. You know what I'm saying? I think Tatum was injured a little bit that season. He was cooking.
This is a team built around a superstar, and yet they've spent the year finding ways to win without him, sitting near the top of the East like it's business as usual. That tells you everything you need to know about just how strong the foundation is in Boston. What made this version of the Celtics different is how they've evolved offensively. They didn't just survive by leaning harder into the same three-point identity and just hoping that shots fall. Instead, they added more layers. threes, more cutting, more movement, and more
Jaylen
actions
Brown.
that punish teams for overcommitting to the perimeter. They've taken bits of what
And
Indiana were doing last season, which got them all the way to the NBA Finals. And it's all still built around spacing, but it's smarter, more dynamic, and far less predictable. Now, don't get it twisted. Boston still lets it fly. Last season, they led the NBA with about 48 attempts from three, hitting 37% of those shots. And this season, they're right back near the top with 42.5 three-point attempts per game, yet again knocking them down at a 37% clip. So the volume hasn't gone anywhere, but because they're generating more interior looks and better rhythm on shots, they're no longer living and dying by the three. And that matters a lot when games slow down. Then you get to the part that should make everybody uncomfortable. Jason Tatum is coming back. The timeline hasn't shifted, and we're still looking at an early March return, which means we're talking about
Celtics gonna be in there.
just over a month. Boston is already the 2 seed at a 26-15 record. We're not talking about theoretical upside anymore. This is a great team about to add an MVP level player. In the meantime, Jaylen Brown has been continuing to cook the NBA. He just dropped 41 on Atlanta and is still hovering around 30 points a game. And the way he's doing it is even more important. He's taking more 2-point attempts than anybody in the league, living in the mid-range and scoring inside, taking full advantage of the spacing of this team. When teams load up to the shooters, Jaylen gets whatever he wants inside. And he's also been making smart reads as a playmaker, so if you try and clog the lane, he finds the shooter. His numbers have not been empty production. They've been quite the opposite. There's also been a lot of noise about what Boston may or may not do with Anthony Simons. He's on an expiring deal, and most people assumed he was going to be flipped at the deadline. But that certainty is fading. He just went off for 39 in Miami.
Then he scored 9 points the next game. Bro, he should be a starter from the jump. I've been said that, you know what I'm saying? This is Anthony Simons we're talking about. He was the number 2 to Dame when CJ McCollum left and he got traded. This man is capable of putting up all-star-like production. He should be a starter over Pritchard. No hate to Pritchard, though.
And looks increasingly comfortable in the Celtics system. He's giving them a real scoring punch on top of everything else, adding just another problem for the East. Now yes, the front court is thin. Neemias Queta and Luka Garza aren't exactly intimidating names. And that's probably the one area where Boston could still use help. But here's the thing, it's already been good enough. And once Tatum comes back, you're adding a really good piece into that front court. A guy who's a lot more versatile on the defensive side of the floor than people give him credit for.
Tatum need to just come back and just play straight defense, bro. He gonna score. I'm not saying he gonna do his thing, but let Jaylen Brown have it this season, bro. He's the number 1. Just come in and play defense, bro. Be a 4.
And one of the best offensive engines in the league. And you're putting this back into a team that already owns the second best offensive rating in the NBA, putting up 122.5 points per 100. That's incredible. And yes, when he returns, there's going to be a brief adjustment, trying to figure out who's the alpha dog of this team. But this is a group who's been there before. They've won at the highest level, and if winning is the priority, which it is, then I've got no doubt that they're going to figure it out quickly. And if you want to see the flip side of this equation, you need to watch my recent video on the Milwaukee Bucks, because one wrong decision could end the Giannis era in Milwaukee.
It's already over. Like I said, man. AW video though about Basketball Reach. I'm saying I agree with pretty much everything you were saying in this video, man. If y'all enjoyed this reaction video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next, man. Road to 2K.